Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another segment of Code Gurbani's A-sabad-a-day. Our recitation today is Gauri Mahalla Panjama, and the recitation. Gauri Mahalla Panjama, Rang Sang Bikhia ko Bhoga, in Sang And Na Jani. How sancho, how khatta, sagli avad behani rahao. How sura pradhan, how ko nahi mujhe samani. Jo banvanti achar kulina, man meh hoye gumani. Jo uljhayo bad buddhi, ka mirtya nahi bisrani. जित लागो मन बासना अंते साई प्रगटानी अहम बुद्ध सुच कर्म कर यह बंधन बंदानी दयाल पुरख कृपा करो नानक दास दसानी दयाल पुरख कृपा करो नानक दास दसानी. Another short passage talking about the ego mind, our Haume consciousness, and its pretentious confidence and self-pride that causes it to feel as though it is the master of its resources. That is the illusion that we live under. And that is what blinds us to our true nature. It constricts us. What that means is living in ego consciousness alienates us not only from ourselves but also from others. And that is the theme of this passage. So the Guru starts by saying Rang Sange Bikhia ko Bhoga, in sang and na jani. In sang, toxic pleasures. So you see, the senses are oriented towards the body and naturally seek bodily pleasure and avoids bodily pain. That is essentially our bodily structure and our senses. And so it becomes a pattern of seeking bodily pleasure, which, when carried to a certain point, can become toxic. That is why the Guru talks about narcissistic pleasures. Rang Sang Bikhia, he calls it Bikhia. They are poisonous. They leave a toxic residue. How is that done? Because they trap you into that cycle. Pleasures of the senses are transitory. They are fleeting. You find yourself enjoying something and the enjoyment doesn't really last. What do you do then? It leaves you with a feeling of void or emptiness, and you seek to repeat the experience. And in that repetition, before you know it, it becomes toxic craving. So that, in effect, is what the Guru is saying. That is what ego Haume causes you to do, on the one hand. And the pretense and the self-pride that Haume has, that is what we live with throughout our existence. And it blinds us to our relationship with others. You see, we become isolated. We only think of ourselves. We forget the fact that we are part of a large nexus, a large network, that we are dependent on others for everything that we do. And so the rest of the Sabad essentially lays out or lists out the things that we ordinarily do that strengthen this kind of consciousness, And this is what we need to protect ourselves from. The Guru says, How sancho, how kartata, sagli avad behani. All of my life is spent thinking, boasting that I am the source of every doing. How sura pradhan, how ko nahi mujhe samani. There is no one like me. I am the leader. I am the chief. I am brave. I am beautiful, youthful. My lifestyle is worthy of emulation. I come from a lineage. Jo banvanti achar kulina man mein hoye gumani. This only fuels self-pride. And as we said, we get caught in this. We get trapped in this confusion. This is erroneous thinking. Jo uljo bad buddhi. Bad buddhi, faulty thinking, erroneous thinking. This identification with the body is erroneous thinking. The ego, thinking that I exist independently of anything else. The fact of the matter is that the ego is informed by its connections. So, jo uljo bad buddhi ka martya nahi bisrani. It stays with us till the very end. And then what happens is all of your accumulations wind up with family, friends, companions. In other words, you leave empty-handed. Jit lago man basana ante sai pragatani. So you see, your habits form your character. You become your habits. You become your attachments. And in the end, it is those desires and attachments that manifest as your character. Jit lago man basana ante sai pragatani. Pragatani, you manifest it through your persona. It becomes obvious as to who you are. And even purifying religious ritual is performed out of ego haume. Aham buddha such karamakar eh bandhan bandhani. This is how we tie ourselves up in knots, because we are acting out of ego. Dayal purkh kirpa karo Nanak das dasani. O compassionate self, says Nanak, have mercy. Make me a slave unto your slaves. And here it is a reference to the good enlightener. Give me the shelter of the enlightener so that I may imbibe Gur wisdom and the virtue of Gur wisdom. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.